My name's Joe Navarro, and for 25 years, I was a spy catcher for the FBI. And today, we're going to focus on the face. When it comes to nonverbals, the face is key. There's so much information and feelings that we receive from the face that for us, the face takes primacy. So one of the ways to look at the face is to think of it in two areas, comfort and discomfort, because really that's how the brain reacts to the world. So let's start with psychological comfort. When we're very comfortable, the muscles of the face become very relaxed, and we have all the behaviors that are associated with it. Smiling, laughing. Usually the pupils are slightly wider. The lips are full, and usually the chin tends to be further out. The very second that there's psychological discomfort, usually it begins to register in several areas. Now, for some people, we'll see it in the forehead and here between the eyes, where there'll be furrowing of the forehead or squinting. And of course, the tucking down of the chin, or in some instances where something is really emotional, you'll see the chin begins to vibrate. Covering of the eyes also is a display of psychological discomfort. So our faces, what we feel in that moment is immediately displayed by our nonverbals, and the easiest way to look at it is that behavior consistent with comfort, or is it consistent with discomfort? One of the questions that I'm often asked is, how do we read each other? How do we read each other's faces? We look at the forehead for information. When it's smooth, the forehead tells us that everything is well and placid. When it's furrowed, we begin to notice that perhaps there's some sort of discomfort. The eyebrows, the arching of the eyebrows is our exclamation point, doing that eyebrow flash. When we see someone we recognize and we go, "Hey, how are you?" The glabella, this little area between the eyes. Someone says something we don't like, and we might squint at them and look at them askance. The nose. Do we wrinkle our nose upward? We do that bunny nose. At about 3 months of age, babies are already doing this when they don't like something they're being offered. And then there's the lips, which convey so much information. Maybe as often as the eyes, I'm asked about smiles. We have the social smile, the interested smile, the curious smile. We have little secretive smiles that we might give to someone that we're interested in. There is so much to our mouths. It's so expressive, but starting at a very young age, we're already focusing on these things. You may not notice, for instance, the pupils, whether they're wide or narrowed, but subconsciously your brain is assessing this information. There's just so much there. So we never stop communicating with our faces. It is something that is always telegraphing our emotions and our sentiments, and sometimes even our desires. One of the things that was startling to me when studying faces was what I had been picking up for decades. When I look back on The Lone Ranger, watching the movies of Zorro, or even Batman and Robin, one of the things you notice is all these good guys were wearing masks that covered the eyes, but the bad guys always covered their mouths. So the bank robbers would wear a bandana and then just pull it over their faces. Undoubtedly, we are being affected by the fact that we cannot see the full face. And I think it has to do with the fact that we get so much information from there. But even with masks, we can still communicate with each other. We can still understand what people are trying to say. And you can pick up above the line of the mask. Look at this clip. Notice that even though they're wearing a mask, we can still see the emotions behind that mask. We can still decode that face. But, you know, the rest of the body is transmitting information. If we can't see the full face, where can we go? The neck, the shoulders, right? The hands, the fingers, the thumbs in particular, right? So when we emphasize, the fingers are wide. When we lack emphasis, our fingers come together. Even our feet communicate sentiments. So we have to redirect where we're getting information, but always remember that from the time we're born, we're looking at the face for that information. We just have to be patient with ourselves and know that there's still information out there. We may just have to get it from other parts of the body. A lot of us now are doing these video conferences, Zoom, Google Meet, and so forth. And the visual range has changed completely because now we're only seeing maybe from the chest up, maybe we're only seeing the face. One of the things we know is that in face-to-face meetings, this tends to be on a subconscious level very aggressive. So directly looking at another person, as I am now, directly looking at the lens, is actually creating discomfort. That we actually get greater comfort when we turn slightly. It makes the other person relax. And one of the mistakes that I'm finding on Zoom calls and Google Meets and other environments is this very direct, intense look at the lens. So one of the things that you can try next time you're on a video call is angle yourself and see if you find that more comfortable. See if it's more relaxed. See if in doing that behavior that the other person then does the same thing. They feel a little bit more relaxed. Maybe they lean back a little bit more. One of the things that I teach is that synchrony is harmony. So the more that I can get the other party to relax, to mirror my behaviors, the more I know that we are in synchrony. And that's powerful because we are both engaging each other at a conscious and at a subconscious level. Why do we focus so much on the face? We focus on the face because of necessity. Because through our faces, we can show that we care. Through our faces, we can validate what others are going through. And so by studying the faces of others, we gain understanding about ourselves, realizing that our body language will affect others positively. And that's why we study nonverbals. We study nonverbals because it benefits us, but it also benefits others.